I'm going to talk about these drawings and how I got here with them, right? Go all the way back to the beginning. The thing to recognize as I'm drawing here is you'll notice that this is relatively direct. I'm going to be scrubbing back and forth, right? So now I'm going backwards in time. You can see I started with this light to medium value of line. And then the goal I was trying to teach this particular mentee was where I was doing a lot of direct drawing, right? So the line's pretty dark and pretty fast. And I'm moving very quickly, almost in a reactionary mode versus a very thoughtful mode. I'm just drawing what I see with what I understand as fast as I can, right? As fast as I can, right? And that's getting me through here. Now here, something changes, right? Here, I'll just hit play on this. So this is playing now in what was real time. Notice that the line changed, right? I had to go into very uncharted territory, moving down into the legs. And because of that, I went to a lighter, softer, fatter brush with both the legs here, right? I'm trying to figure out what direction I want the forces to move in, what the flow is, what the angle is, like all that's figured out. And then you saw me go with a darker line there, right? So now I'm like, tie it down, tie it down. This is what it really looks like to me. So there's this process of moving back and forth between how much I have to think before I get to the answer, and then if I think I know the answer, going directly for it, right? There's these phases basically that happen. And I have 3 phases that I work through with the students, right? And if you didn't know to look for it, you might not catch it. But the evidence of it is here in these drawings. It's like I'm going from lighter, thinner, softer, fuzzier, almost like airbrush lines to lines that have darkness. If you're watching an artist that is drawing straight to black and they're drawing pretty good drawings, pretty believable, pretty skilled, be aware that artist is a pro. They know how to draw really well. It's not easy to do that. It takes some years of training to get there. So that's not who you should be watching or trying to emulate, right? You're emulating a pro. The pro didn't emulate a pro. The pro learned how to draw in order to become a pro. And the way to become a pro is to do a lot of work, a lot of drawing. If you want to learn how to draw, you've got to draw a lot. It's that simple. Now, in my world of force drawing, your drawing is only as good as your ideas. That's my mantra for the website and for my drawing approach. Your drawing is only as good as your ideas, right? So much of it depends on what you're thinking about, right? What are you thinking about? I'm thinking about the ulna there getting to its end, right? I've roughed out the force of the hand and its top shape, and now I'm thinking about how the fingers are shooting out off the hand. Notice I didn't draw the box or anything. Now I'm starting to close up the shape of it. I was thinking more about how the fingers are moving off the hand, right? So every mark I make here I'm trying to recorrect the spine compared to the edge, but I'm thinking about it in terms of energy down the back. Every mark I make has purpose. There's nothing really random going on. It may look loose. This is a very loose drawing for me. It's a very loose drawing, but every mark I make is me thinking about something, right? I'm thinking about something. So here, let's see, I think I shrunk this down. Oh yeah, I shrunk it down to create more of the leg here, right? So you'll see I just made the brush kind of a medium size. I'm trying to figure things out. So the brush doesn't go to a thin black line. I thinned it down, right? I'm trying to get the foot to push into the heel there, getting that one to push into that heel, right? I threw down some tone because it's the back leg. And then I drew the shape of it, right? There's the force in the heel. It's always thinking, right? This is really what I want you to understand. I think I can move this guy over a little bit here to there. So you'll see that here again. What did I do? I started with my main idea of force with a medium to large size brush. I very quickly got in some of the darker lines, which I would consider the small brush. Now, what does that look like? Here, I'll show you on the bottom. I'm going to grab the soft touch brush, which is what I drew this with. The idea here, folks, is to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to draw, let's get this black. I'm going to draw light and big. I kind of know what I'm doing. So I'm going to draw of a medium-sized brush with a slightly darker tone to it. And then finally, I'm going to go with a dark brush that's thin and black. All right. So big, medium, small, right? This is like hierarchical, right? It's basically, we're basically doing this. If I were to put it in a pyramid, it's not a pyramid. This is a pyramid. This is the main ideas, right? The main ideas, the medium ideas, and then the small ideas are going down here, right? Now I'm hopping around, right? 30 years experience is allowing me to kind of hop around them. But I recommend students go this way through the path, right? Get all of your medium idea stuff down, right? Notice here I got the force. I just roughed out the form with that little spiral going on there, right? So you can see I'm like, that's the round. This is going in that direction. Oh, there's force over here. Let me get the form of the arm. I can go with a darker line here. I'm going pretty straight, very quickly to it. So just watch what size brush and darkness I work with. Here I'm going more immediately for the face, right? It's a thinner, blacker brush. It's more detailed, right? So I'm just trying to like nail down his face and his expression and so on, right? I got his hairstyle down, right? I like all the wisps I threw off there, so it looks like his head's moving forward in space, right? So keep that in mind. Professionals, some professionals, those that are actually revealing to you what they're doing, what they will do instead of big, medium, small, right? What they will do is they will bring in a color. Their big to medium might be red, and then they go black on top of it. It might be blue, and then they go black on top of it, right? So they may do a drawing that's like this and say, well, here's the torso. It looks like this. Here's where the head goes. And then they'll go to black because that is the way that they think. That's the way that they learned to do it, right? So then they go in here and say, well, now I'm going to clean up. It's almost like inking, right? But you're not necessarily having to ink. It depends on you, on like how clean is clean and how loose is your cleanup and so on. But if I have this blue here, I can go in because I have some foundation to my drawing, right? I have some foundation to my drawing. And then I can go in and draw the details. I'm just doing that all with one color, that color being black, and I'm moving into medium and light grays based on the size of the brush, right? Because I don't want the line to be massive, but if I want it to be light, I go very big, so I get this kind of certain size of brush. So I go really big and I draw very gently. And then medium is medium-sized brush, medium pressure. And then small, again, is me going for all the nuance, right? So that's what's going on. So my recommendation after you watch today's video is try going through a 3-step process of big ideas to medium ideas to small. Big is typically all the forces. Medium is form and structure and some shape and silhouette to the body. So by the time you got the forces, you got the forms, you have the shapes and the silhouettes, you can get to the small black because you're just extracting the final information, right? You're trying to say, this is now what I think it really is. And you've given yourself scaffold. You've given yourself all the information that you actually need to create the drawing, right? Don't go straight to black. Drawing in pen or marker, very hard to draw in marker. Pen, not so bad because you can actually get light to dark. Pencil is best. You want to start with tools that have opacity change based on pressure, right? So you're playing with the pressure yourself to define how little or how much you know about your subject, right? Remember, your drawing is only as good as your ideas. So be aware of where you need to think more, where you need to think sort of medium, and where you need to think less, and you can really nail down your answers. All right? Have fun. Take care, guys.